Welcome along to episode 854 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. Coming up on this week's show, Asha Manhota lets us know all about her part in the Ms. United Kingdom competition for 2025. Dez Coleman will be along to let us know about his show with the All-Star Big Band, which is taking place at the Grand Theatre. Also at the Grand, Jordan Conway. He is playing Buddy in Elf the musical, so we're finding out about that one. Romeo and Juliet is taking place at the Lichfield Cathedral, so we'll be meeting up with some of the team behind that. Jenny Eclair is at the Stafford Gatehouse, so we'll be finding out about her show on the 13th of November. And George Clarke will be along to remind us about the importance of using the likes of an air sourced heat pump to heat our homes. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
Now, the magic of Christmas is going to be arriving at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre nice and early with Elf the musical from the 11th through to the 16th of November. Jordan Conway is the elf in question. He's everybody's buddy, and I'm quite surprised he hasn't got pointy ears. He's with me now, though. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Now, do elves in Elf have pointy ears?
They do, except the whole point of my character is that he isn't an elf. He was actually born in New York, and Santa stole him away in his sack one Christmas Eve, and he left him and raised him in the North Pole like he was an elf. So I think if Buddy had pointy ears, he'd be a lot happier, but unfortunately, he does not. The first kind of opening 10 minutes is all about Buddy finding out that he is in fact a human and he has a real father, and Santa sends him on this journey all the way across the North Pole, and I do a very wordy song which is hard to get out at the best of times into New York, and that's where the rest of the show takes place.
And this is such a fun show, isn't it? I mean, aside from the fact you get to wear green tights a large amount of the time, you're really going to have a good time, aren't you?
Yes, no, I had an amazing time on it last year. It was probably my favorite show I've ever done. I've never really been involved in a musical like this because obviously it's a big Broadway West End musical. So it was a great challenge. But what I kind of enjoyed and brought to the part last year was I really got the freedom to kind of improvise with the audience a bit and um, basically be funny because not many of the other buddies who have done it have been actually none of them have been comics. They've all been, you know, big high-end musical actors. So I'm bringing a completely different kind of element to the show, which hasn't necessarily the show hasn't had before. So it's a nice new innovative kind of way of playing him. And obviously, I'm considerably younger than most other buddies. So I also bring a very youthful energy aspect to it. So I feel like families enjoy the show more.
It sounds absolutely brilliant fun. I think that's part of it as again. You've got to enjoy playing this part because you've got mischief, you've got magic, and you've got all sorts of, festive tales that people will know. They will have seen the film, but this is its own production, isn't it? I think that's the other thing. It runs in parallel with the film. It tells the story of the film, but there's actually so much more to it because you've got that fourth wall you can break.
Absolutely. And we're trying to put as much heart in it as we can. I mean, as fun and as silly as it is, there are some really nicely dramatic acted scenes in it also. So it's lovely kind of, yo-yoing in a healthy balance between the two. But it is a great, great fun show.
Of course, the whole production team here are absolutely phenomenal. That's part of it. I know you're slightly biased when it comes to one of them.
Yeah, no. So me and my father produced the show, which is fun. It's It's interesting in rehearsals because we don't act as a father and son at all. And to the new cast coming in, they have no idea. And we kind of tell them midway throughout the run, and some of them go, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't have told you that." No, but it's we have a really good working relationship, and he gives me freedom to do what I want, and I also have enough respect to listen to him. So, so obviously he's the boss, but also he's been doing it longer than I've been alive.
I think the way that this comes together with the music as well, that's again another major part of this show, isn't it? You've already mentioned the wordy song you have to work your way through, but actually everybody gets some great songs in this show.
Yeah, they do. The my the child, my sibling in the show, has a lovely song. It's actually my favorite song in it. Sparkle Jolly is a really good feel good song. basically where I'm just taking the mick out of everyone who doesn't enjoy Christmas. So you can imagine how that goes. And as I said, I kind of have freedom to do what I want. So not only do the audience not know what's coming, but sometimes some of my fellow colleagues don't either. And when there's that kind of excitement around on the stage, it translates to the auditorium too.
Well, it sounds truly magical, but the look is another big part of this as well. And I've already mentioned here the green tights. That's pretty much a staple, isn't it?
Yeah, green tights, tunic, and turn up Dutch elf shoes. Yeah, it's a look, that's for sure.
And
I
is
can't
it one you take home with you? I mean, do you keep this in your wardrobe for Christmas?
I do not. However, I had to do a load of promo last year. So I went to like kind of 8 different cities dressed as Buddy the Elf, just abuse just being hurled at me left, right, and center. And I had to stay in character. It was hilarious, but very challenging. And I'm glad I don't have to do that this year.
I think we should get you out in the city of Wolverhampton just for a bit of an explore. What for you is the most magical part of Christmas? Because as Buddy the Elf, yeah, he knows Father Christmas. So I mean, how does? Because I mean, with your dad producing and directing too, obviously you know Father Christmas in that aspect is essentially too, don't you? On this.
Yeah, in a sense. I think weirdly, the big correlation between me and Buddy is I'm a massive family man. I'm a mama's boy and proud, and I care very deeply for my dad. So for me, Christmas is about spending time with family. And Buddy's whole journey is wanting to find his family, who he belongs to, and be around the people that he loves. So I just think it's a great message and one that I genuinely, truly believe in and adhere to. And I enjoy Christmas just because I get to spend time with all of my family. And we always go to shows and stuff. So I'm trying to bring that kind of magical essence into the part as well, so other families can feel like I do too.
Well, yeah, he's got the shows at the Grand with the amazing video backdrop that's going to bring it all to life too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Grandtheatre.co.uk to get your tickets, or you can give the box office a call on 01902 where can people see some the great social media stuff that you've been putting together? Can we find you online?
Yeah, my Instagram is Jordan.Conway and my TikTok is Jordan Conway the actor, and you will see plenty of videos of me making an absolute fool of myself on there, dressed in character.
It's something for everyone to look forward to. Jordan, fantastic to meet you. Look forward to seeing you in real life on stage as Buddy the Elf in Elf the Musical at the Grand from the 11th through to the 16th of November. Have a good one. Break a leg. Don't ladder your tights.
Have a great day. See you later.
Jokes, 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 live. It's Jenny Eclair's offering. It's autobiographical. It's a bit of fun. It's taking place in Stafford on the 13th of November, and it's an extension to a tour. Jenny Eclair herself is here to tell me what is actually all going on. How you doing?
Well, I'm in Sheffield. I'm not with you, Jason. Where are you?
Wolverhampton.
Oh, Wolverhampton. Okay, right. Well, I'm coming near you, aren't I? Stafford, that's right.
Yes.
My geography is very poor. I'm very glad you pointed that out that Stafford and Wolverhampton were close enough. I'm currently in Sheffield. I'm in a rather nice hotel,
Yes.
which makes a change. I've had some real duds on this tour, but let's not name names. Let's not get spiteful. So yeah, an extension. I started this tour originally back in January, and we're going into November now, aren't we?
This was
Oh,
just to pay the tax bill in January, and it turned out to something you've done all year.
don't even talk to me about that because it will make me weep. It will make me weep that how much of this is going to that tax man. But we're all in the same boat, aren't we? Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate. I did have the summer off, so I don't want people feeling desperately sorry for me. I had a lot of lolling around in the summer. But winter touring is quite tough. I mean, as soon as that hour changed last weekend, suddenly you go, oh, okay, this is hardcore touring now.
Dark nights, and
Yeah.
yeah, I say I tend to find when it's darker, you can tell where more of the cars are as long as they remember to put their lights on the front. So in some ways, it swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind I've been doing this a very long time. It's 45 years in the business. So, and it's much easier for me now. I'm very well looked after. I don't have to do the driving myself. Can you imagine? That would be carnage. I can't drive on motorways. It would take me forever to get anywhere. So I have got a great tour manager, and it's all good. And this is the last time I'll be taking this show out. It's done. It's done. It's kind of what I set out to do, which is it's the live show of the memoir, which
Mm.
came out last October. And I feel like I've had over a solid year of this project, and it's very dear to my heart, and it's a really great show to perform, and it's a slideshow. So, I look over my shoulder and I've got my mum and dad there. I mean, not in person, they're both in a roses lime marmalade jar in my sister's pantry. And we are yet to scatter the ashes, but they are with me as their younger selves. And as are my brother and sister and all sorts of things. It's nice. It's nice. It's my life on stage.
But it's a life which it has had all sorts of interesting moments in it. And of course, Eclair is a name you adopted, but not
Yeah.
necessarily as a stage name in the first place. So that wasn't the plan, was it, originally?
No, but it was very useful. I had it in the back of my mind. I was sort of, I mean, the well-known story is I was pretending to be French in a nightclub, and when I was vaguely, I mean, not vaguely, very underage in some, sordid nightclub in Blackpool, talking probably to married men who shouldn't have been talking to 16-year-olds, but there we go. That was 1976, and so it stuck with me. And then I was in a band after I left drama school called Kathy Le Creme and the Rumbarbers, and we all had sort of it was the early days of punk poetry, and everybody had kind of odd names, often so that you could sign on as well. So you'd have your real name for signing on purposes, and then you'd have your stage name.
And it all goes back to the tax bill again.
It all gets just one vicious circle, isn't it?
It
But
is, yeah.
now they know who I am, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it's been a long time. It's been, many decades of doing this, and some of the show is about family, some of it is about school, some of it is about relationships and motherhood, and now grandmotherhood, and some of it is about stand up and touring, and the grumpy old women shows, and what happens when your career hits the skids, which mine has a habit of occasionally coming off the rails and crashing into a wall. So what happens then? The writing of the novels, the whole sort of stuff. So it's not just about me though, because I think that could get quite dull, even though I'm fascinating. It's really about everybody. It's everybody has a life story. Everybody has, a school that they went to, a mum and dad, or, hopefully, maybe even grandparents. I touch on my grandparents, your roots, where your formative years were spent, just how things affect us all. There's a big chunk in it about how your sibling pecking order affects you for the rest of your life, which is there's a little bit of audience participation, but not in an embarrassing kind of way. Everyone is very welcome to stay seated. It's just hands up, hands down. Nobody gets dragged on stage. Front rows are entirely safe, although I do dribble quite a lot. But there's absolutely no humiliation involved in this show.
So just turn up in your wet weather gear and you'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah. And my tickets are £25. I mean, the theatres do put extras on top. That money does not come to me. That is their business. Sometimes I think it's eye-wateringly high. That's my opinion. I like to think I'm good value for money. And I think that's very important in an economic crisis.
Well, you're £28 in Stafford, so
So they
they're
put on a £3 charge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's just probably cleaning up the front row after you've dribbled all over it.
But well, in that case, then it's money well spent. But I do think booking charges are ridiculous considering nobody's actually picking up a phone and making the bookings. It's all computerized. But, that's nothing to, as I say, nothing to do with me. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, I'm sorry about that. But I'm £25. Um, so yeah, I love this show. It's something that I feel that I will look back on with huge fondness.
Now, there's some musical numbers of some kind in this. A nursery rhyme baritone singing. What? This is part of the
I'm
billing.
afraid
What?
that got dumped. That got dumped from the show. It was I started writing the press blurbs for this show before I'd written the show because that's how it worked. And
Is this
at the
something you're saving up for another occasion then now?
I might. I mean, it's still in the canon. But at the time, I was taking my grandson to one of those morning nursery groups, singing and everything. And it is very well known that I can't sing. And even from a very early age, from when he was about able to crawl, he got the fact that I couldn't sing. So when I was at these nursery singing groups with him, I'd start singing with him, and literally he'd crawl to the other side of the room and sit with another woman, anything so that nobody connected the two of us. He sort of got that I was embarrassing even then. But we've moved on from those groups now. I've got a big chunk about potty training because I went through that in the summer. He's 3 now, so he's well, I say he's completely dry. There was an accident at ours last Tuesday. I do Tuesdays. Me and the old man, we do Tuesdays with the childcare. So yeah, there's all that's in.
I think your audience just like you. They like the experience that is Jenny Eclair, and some people have a performance personality, and it's difficult to spot where that begins and ends with you because you're just so sort of warm and welcoming about being you.
No, I am. I am a sort of more interesting version of my real self when I'm on stage. I mean, I'm quite at home. Me and the old man, we sit in absolute silence, very happily. But I don't ever feel the need to entertain him. So I think that's why it works. He knows me very, very well.
Well, it just pay 25 quid, and it can
Yeah,
have
he'd have to pay me
yeah,
25 quid, and then I will do the all singing, all dancing 2-hour show for him.
yeah.
But he hasn't shown much much interest in doing that. But no, I do I am very me on stage, much more than I ever have been. When I was much younger, it was definitely a facade because I was absolutely terrified. And now the joy of having all this experience, and the only thing people can't take away from me, I mean, they can take lots of things away from me, but they cannot take my experience away. And it's very hard fought experience, especially, no, I think in any career really. And there is a time, and I think it happens in your late 50s, where suddenly the penny drops, and it's taken a long time for that penny to drop, where you go, I kind of know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, and I do it to the best of my ability. And if you don't like it, I'm not going to persuade you otherwise, and I'm not going to waste my energy because I know there are people that cannot bear the idea of being trapped watching me for a couple of hours. I understand that, I totally do. But then, and the great thing about being at this stage in your career is they're not going to waste their money. I am not having to win anybody over. The audience come, they know what to expect. We all start from a position of being quite relaxed about it, and that's just a joy.
And I think the joy of having you on stage, it echoes the joy of whenever we see you on TV. And whether it be the shows that you've been regular part of over a long period, or maybe just a series of Taskmaster, that's brought you to new audiences who've again signed up to the love of the Eclair.
Yeah, I mean, the Taskmaster thing is very powerful, and it's a wonderful, if people haven't watched it, it's a wonderful series, the kindest television series that just everybody is so on board, all the crew, the whole production team and everything. They love that program. It is a complete labor of love. And it does bring me a slightly different, but not hugely. I mean, you look out at my audience and it's my demographic totally. It looks like a sort of old girls' school reunion with a few blokes dotted about. And but occasionally you will see some very obvious Taskmaster fans. And they sort of they're very open to the comedy because if you're a Taskmaster fan, you're usually a fan of comedy. So they put themselves through it and they get it and they like it. I mean, there were a couple in last night in Sheffield, and I just thought, yeah, this is you're being very good about this because it's not for you. It's not. It is. My show is a sort of it's too self-congratulatory to say a gift, but I want it to be a treat for uh people around my age or who are into the same kind of stuff as me and get it. That's what I want it to be.
I'm sure it'll be absolutely amazing. Stafford Gatehouse, November the 13th, 7:30 p.m. 01785 619080. You can ring up, talk to somebody on there, get your
Oh,
tickets that way.
oh, that's worth the £3.
It is, isn't it? Gatehousetheatre.co.uk if you want that £3 to go directly to the theatre. And £28 is the price you're paying for an evening with Jenny Eclair. Even her husband has to. Jenny, lovely to speak to you. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful time on the road and a brilliant time when you hit Stafford.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm looking forward to it.
Asha Manhota is once again representing our city when she heads forward to the Miss UK competition. Having done exceptionally well last year, she is back, and this time she wants to take that title. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you, Jason?
I'm okay, thank you. Now, placed third last time round, third runner-up, and obviously that is an achievement in itself. And I'm very much looking forward to you taking on and being able to maybe steal that tiara this time round.
Yes, I'm looking to steal the crown in November. So it's November the 15th in Lincolnshire. Yes, I was third runner-up. But I'm obviously advocating for parents with SEND children, and this system's all about empowering women. So I'm looking to empower other SEND mums to also join this pageant, this system, as well as empowering them in their lives with their SEND children too.
So, how do you get to be a finalist this year round? What's the selection process?
So you just do an online application. You literally have to fill an application that has a couple of questions. It's about your why, how do you empower women, what is your cause, your advocacy, and why Miss International UK. And the reason why I chose this system is purely because it does empower women and it empowers your advocacy as well. It gives you the platform, it amplifies it to the point where now I'm reaching SEND mothers from all around the world. So I've got my podcast, Sending Support, and now I am interviewing mums from America. So I've interviewed from New England to New York, and I've got another interview on Saturday coming up, which I cannot wait, from someone in the USA. So my reach is getting further and further. I'm getting heard, and it's all through International Miss UK.
And all this from your home in Wolverhampton.
Yes, indeed.
Obviously, we're looking forward to you doing well. Tell us about what the rounds are, because I think it does vary each part of the competition, doesn't it?
It does. So the first round will just be an opening number representing International Miss UK. The second round is all about fashion runway. So it's bringing your authentic self on stage, your confidence, your poise, how you hold yourself. You can wear anything fashion wear to, I don't know, a jumpsuit, to a dress, and it's all about the celebration of you. And then the final round is all about evening wear, which I have all my outfits ready. And it's more than just a couple of rounds on stage. Most of the hard work is 80% before you get on stage. So I've already done an introduction video, a minute and a half. I've done an empowerment plan video, which is 2 minutes. And I've also done a Word document to go with my empowerment plan video. Your social media gets judged as well about how you hold yourself, how you advocate for the system, how you advocate for yourself and your advocacy, as well as photogenic. So you submit a headshot. So technically 80% of the results are already finalized before you even get on stage. So it's a bit like The Apprentice, but in pageants.
And I say it's all about though personality and showing the work that you do, and it's even if you aren't selected as a winner, and placing last year was amazing, but if you aren't selected as a winner, actually you've already won in many ways because of the work that you've done along the way. You'll have had an impact on society, and that's what this is about. You'll have shown advocacy for others, particularly with say the work that you do around educational needs for people that are not available necessarily in mainstream education, and just raising those points, having that conversation, talking to people around the world about this, and really it's getting ideas and sharing ideas and all of that. You're already a winner just for having done that, aren't you?
Yeah. So I already feel like a winner, and for me, I've pushed it even further. So I run mental health sessions for free. And this is in aid of Still She Rose, which is a community charity pageant. So it's based in the USA, but it helps women to help with their mental health going through pageantry. I ran a session last night and we had some women on there and it was amazing. And I also run these mental health sessions in SEND schools in Wolverhampton too. And I just give my time up. Even though I'm a busy woman and I work full time, I give my time up to advocate to help women with their mental health too, especially for SEND moms, because we don't get that help. We don't get that resource. I'm lucky enough to have that resource through my organisation that I work for. But there are SEND moms out there that don't work and don't have the ability to access those resources. And the fact that I can give it for free is amazing. And I'm going to push it out even further throughout the UK, where anyone can join, from pageantry to any women from any walk of life, no matter what background. I want them all to come on my sessions and feel like they've got the tools and the resources to help with their mind and their mindfulness as well.
Well, so how do we support you in what you're doing?
Sure. So if you go on my Instagram page, which is Asha Manhota, if you just search my name on Instagram, you'll find me and you can message me there. I also have my sending support page, which is also linked on my main page. And if you are a SEND mum, you can message me on both pages. I can help you with tools and resources there. If you want to book onto my mental health session, just message me and I will let you know when the next date will be, because there is already a demand for the next one.
So it's all going on alongside the pageant itself. As you say, that takes place on the 15th of November. We wish you every success in that. Obviously, representing SEND mums, but also, importantly, being one of the phases of Wolverhampton that is out there spreading the good word about our city, the great things that emanate from our city, and you're truly part of that. So you are a citizen to be absolutely so proud of. Absolutely fantastic. So do all of that. It's ASHAMANHOTA, Asha Manhota. That's who you're looking for. Find her on Instagram. And hopefully we'll be seeing you carrying that crown on the 15th of November. Asha, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Jason.
Come the 6th of November, Des Coleman and the All-Star Big Band at the Grand Theatre is an evening's entertainment not to miss. A man who can own music the same way he owns dancing, acting and weather forecasting. How you doing, sir?
I'm not too bad. You're the sort of bloke I need to shrink wrap, put in my pocket and carry, take you out anytime I need someone to put a smile on my face.
You're so blooming talented, though. You're annoying.
Well, mate, do you know something? It's a great show. That I'm so glad I'm having a chat with you about it, because audience have loved it. We've taken it pretty much around the country, and it's the first time I've been doing a show like this. It's not just me singing. We've got a 10-piece big band invoking all that sort of nostalgic music from the 50s and 60s, and up-to-date stuff as well, and telling some fun stories on top of that. So it's a great evening with a fabulous girl singer. There's a lot of good singers out there, but she's a great performer as well. Really sells the show. So I'm looking forward to it.
Go on, name names. Who is she?
She's a lady called Maria Laura. She's going to be on TV. You're going to hear so much of her next year because she's been signed and she's doing a couple of massive things. So get a chance to see her now while you can.
Absolutely. Well, it's getting to see you as well and experience the music with you. And these songs are songs that you've got to perfection, but they mean so much to so many people.
Yeah, they've been around for a very long time. We've had so many great singers sing them and put their own sort of classic take on them as well. But it's something that when the audience hear, I think it's a sort of style of music that just invokes that era, that cool, suave, sophisticated era, the swing stuff, that is. On top of that, because it's a musical show as well, when I started coming out into the business, so to speak, in inverted quote marks, I did a lot of musical theatre. So my very first show was Miss Saigon. Then I ended up doing Rent. Became a West End Wendy. That's what you call it when you just go around the West End, doing tits and teeth. So it's an amalgamation of the two. You get some music from the big shows and some swing stuff as well. People absolutely love.
No EastEnders monologues though, and absolutely no cold fronts.
Well, when it comes to EastEnders, I do tell. Because there's an awful lot that's happened to me over the journey. I've had cancer about 3 times. I've been to Nick. All sorts of things have happened. And it's pretty much me telling stories, you know, and obviously because EastEnders was a big part of my career earlier on, there's great stories about Barbara Windsor and Ross Kemp and Doc Cotton that I sort of evoke in my sort of tales. Good behind the scenes stuff. And plus the fact, you know, one of my first films was a film with, it was great at the time, Danny Dyer, Will Mellor. They took us all over to Spain, all the young guys that were coming through at the time and girls. And we've got some back behind the scene footage. So there's huge video that's played on the wall showing stuff from yesteryear, behind the scenes of various films and shows that I've done. And it's just, it was great for me to go through it, as a matter of fact. You know, it invoked a lot of memories for me.
Well, you're not old enough for an autobiography yet, so this is the next best thing, I suppose.
Yeah, are you going to come and see it, mate?
I'm going to see if I can get down there. It's the 6th of November. It's going to be a good one. But Paul, with the 10-piece all-star band, they're going to be an amazing act to be in front of, aren't they?
Yeah, and the whole thing about it's not very often you see a huge band on a theatre, sitting on a theatre. One, it just looks impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul Drakeley, he's been playing, conducting the band for years and years. Many of the guys that are in the band have played with the likes of Elton John, Tom Jones, George Michael. They've played with everybody. And half the records that you hear from the 70s, 80s, even into the 90s, they're playing on it. So, yeah, Save Your Love, My Darlings, Save Your Love, that one from Rennie and Renata. What's another one? Making Your Mind Up, you know, ba-da-ba-ba, you got to let your indecision. That one, they play on that. So all sorts of records.
So it's a show that's got pretty much everything, bar the kitchen sink. There's no kitchen sink. You're not doing a cookery demonstration as well, are you?
Mate, I tell you, if you came to my house, I'd give you bread and butter.
Okay,
that would be my 5-star meal.
We found what you can't do. However, everything else, including the world of entertainment, is going to be on that there stage at the Grand Theatre. grandtheatre.co.uk to grab your tickets. 01902 429212 is the box office number. But you've got to tell me, what's your favourite bit of the show?
My favourite bit of the show, I do a story where I say about things happening, me getting in trouble and end up going to prison at Winsome Green Prison. And the story that I say that takes me out of that, leads into the song, is quite a poignant one for a lot of people. And I end up doing the impossible dream at the end of that sort of speech. And because I like a big number, you know, you finish a big number. And that is my favorite part, because then I can just punch it out and kiss everybody in the first 3 rows, even the men.
That's the way to do it. But a fully inclusive, fully enjoyable show. And if you're competing with the vocals of Andy Williams and matching them, then you know you got a good night, and this will be a good night. So have an absolutely brilliant time with it. Break a leg. grandtheatre.co.uk, as I say. It is all going on the 6th of November at the Grand. Des Coleman and the All Stars Big Band. You are a star. Thank you for joining us.
Great speaking to you, Jason. All the best, mate.
With Romeo and Juliet at the Lichfield Cathedral from the 20th and the 21st of November. There's a group of groups coming together to make the magic happen. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Dan and Chris.
Hello. Hello.
So who's going to tell me a bit about the way this structure comes together?
I'll start, yeah, if you like. So a bit of a plotted history. So, I started a little theatre group called Different Animal in Lichfield about 11 years ago. And we specialise in running small studio pieces at the Garrick, quite quirky, off-the-wall pieces. But I'm also involved in Shakespeare in the Park as well. I've acted and directed for them, and I'm a member of the Players. And so about 4 years ago, I had the idea of doing Shakespeare in the Cathedral. So I approached Shakespeare in the Park to kind of collaborate, and then we realized actually it cost quite a lot of money to do that. And so our idea was, well, why don't we go to the Players, 80 years in the making, and we can share some of their experience, share their kind of membership, but also perhaps more importantly share the risk of putting on a show in the Cathedral. And make it a really kind of collaborative, community-driven piece of theatre. And so, fast forward then 4 years later, and here we are. We're actually doing it. We're about 3 and a bit weeks away from going in to do the tech, and it's been great. It's been a real chance for us to work together, for new faces to come on board. Thoroughly enjoyed it so far. Yeah.
And with the rich tapestry of people that you have for this, I think it's probably been easier than ever to be able to allocate the parts.
It has. Well, it's a bit of a quirky one. I think this is where my company kind of feeds into it. So obviously Shakespeare in the Park have got years of experience of doing site-specific performances. That's what they bring to the party. The Lichfield players have got 80 odd years of doing community theatre. But what Different Animal do is kind of come at things in perhaps a slightly different way. So we've actually got 4 Romeos and 4 Juliets, and each of the acts across the play they get older. So we start with a teen Romeo and Juliet, and by the time we get to what we're billing as winter, the last act 4, act 5, Romeo and Juliet have literally aged into our winter Romeo.
I thought Dan was going to be the teenage Romeo.
I wish. But the idea really is that where the production kind of concept stemmed from, which was that they go from innocence from experience very, very quickly within the play. It was 5 days in the actual play, but we decided to do it literally. So they start as these kind of, freewheeling kind of young things doing what they want to do, but actually within the space of 5 days, they've got to face up to the experience of their actions, which is where Chris comes in as the experienced Romeo.
Yeah, so Chris, tell us a bit about how you approach this then, because you've got to learn just a quarter of the script.
Yes, it's not a lot to learn actually, because it's just a quarter of a Romeo isn't that bad actually. And I suppose what I should say as well, I'm also here. I'm also the chairman of the Lichfield Players, so I'm. That sounds bad, doesn't it? I'm also managed to get Romeo. That's going to worry me. But it just, so going back to what you said before, there's an awful lot of interest in terms of casting it. If you imagine those three groups, it's like a big Venn diagram. There's a lot in the middle where people get involved in all of them, but then a lot around the edges as well, where we're drawing people in from those sides and then from further afield as well. So that was always a great thing, that it's pulled a load of people together for our own mutual benefit. But I mean, for me, as old Romeo, it's really quite exciting. I don't get to do a lot. I find out I go in, get some bad news, and then take my own life. It's not the happiest role I've probably done in that thing, but it's going to look amazing. We're just so excited about it.
Yeah, and the rest of the cast, do they continue to play the same roles throughout the show? So it's
yeah.
That would be a logistical nightmare otherwise, wouldn't it?
That would have been. I think that would have been a casting nightmare. But actually, the casting of the 4 Romeo and 4 Juliets was. I mean, it was partly an artistic decision, because I'd had the idea to do this in this way for a long, long time, but also, just in terms of the community arts aspect of it, it means that we can open up the lead roles and actually really turn this into a true ensemble piece. In fact, the biggest roles in this play are probably Benvolio and the nurse, because they remain constant. But also it opens up to a wider age range. So, we've got a real scope of these experienced actors, young actors, middle-aged actors. It's great.
Well, and I've been acting for a while, probably about 30 odd years now, but by the time I first started acting, I was already in my 30s. So Romeo was never a part that was ever even an option for me at all. So it's just really exciting to tick it off your bucket list that you thought would never happen. So, and there's true, a few of us, I think, have been able to say that.
And how are you coping with set and scenery in the cathedral?
Fairly easily, because I think if you try to put some scenery in the cathedral, but frankly, you're an idiot, because why would you? It's the most gorgeous looking building. So what we've got is Matt Garfield, who's the chairman of Shakespeare in the Park. He does a lot of work in the cathedral. He's outside of Shakespeare in the Park. He runs an events rigging business, and so he works very closely with the cathedral all year round, really. So he's going to be, him and his team, putting in a structural set, and there's going to be the big selling point, I suppose, is that there's a 50-foot catwalk that runs right through the middle of the audience, and again, it's from an artistic point of view, just because I think it will work incredibly well, but also from a logistic point of view, it means that the actors can get right out into the audience and project and kind of connect with them, because it's a very long space, It seats around 550 per night, and it goes all the way back into the guts of that building. So we want to get the actors out there as well. But actually, the set is very simple. It's a structural set with stairways, a balcony along the back, but actually the scenery the scenery's been there since medieval times, so you wouldn't want to mess with it.
Well, it's going to be, by the sounds of things, a unique way of seeing Romeo and Juliet, and one which is going to sort of immerse you into it in a way you've never expected before, alongside giving that extra element of the aging leads. And at least, Dan, you're not aged, which is the important thing. It's only aged. Let's stay there. So the important thing now is, how do people get hold of the remaining tickets?
If they go to, we can get them via ticket source, but the easiest way is actually to go to the Shakespeare website. So that's www.sitp.org.uk. And if you go there, then you can get a link to ticket source and you can get them there. If you go to the Cathedral website as well, you can also pick up the tickets via a link there as well.
So grab your tickets, get involved, enjoy it, and be immersed in the magical world of Shakespeare in a beautiful building with some wonderful people playing parts. I don't think you can go wrong with it. And just in time I think Shakespeare in the run up to Christmas as well works quite well, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Yeah, definitely.
Well, Chris and Dan, thank you for joining us. Break a leg, and we look forward to an amazing experience in the Lichfield Cathedral.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your support. Appreciate it.
Now, when it comes to heating our homes, there are many options out there. Somebody who's put many a boiler, many a building is George Clarke, who joins me now. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very, very good. I don't put that many boilers in anymore, mate. I just put air source heat pumps in now, as much as I can.
This is it, because I mean, it is one of these things to look at. So, however we do it, we need to heat our homes. We want hot water, and an air source heat pump really over the last 10 years has come into its own, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. For me, it's a bit of a game changer. We know that we want our homes to be more sustainable. We want them to be clean and green. We know as a nation we want to burn less stuff, don't we? We want to burn less coal and less gas. I think that's a kind of global initiative, not just UK. I've just read a stat. Literally 2 minutes ago, there's just been an article that's come out saying that the UK has saved 104 billion since 2010 by not burning coal and using wind farms and solar instead. And that's amazing. I just think we're in this great period of transition of saying, right, we used to burn stuff and that's what we knew very, very well. We did coal and oil, and we've realised it's not really the future for heating our homes. So cleaner forms of home heating, the great way of doing that is with air source heat pumps. And I'm not here to be an air source heat pump salesman at all. Genuinely, I'm not. I've got one in my house. It works brilliantly. I had to educate myself about air source heat pumps, 10 years ago. My installation was done, I think, 8 years ago in my house. And it's just brilliant technology. It's not even new technology, to be honest. It's been around for decades. But I think for a lot of people, they might be a bit nervous and going, like, my gas boiler's really old. It's tired, it's probably quite inefficient. I'm thinking about changing it. All I'm saying today is just consider an air source heat pump before you think about changing it for a gas boiler, because the future is going to be cleaner green technology, but it's also going to work out better for you, better for your pocket and the comfort levels in your home. An air source heat pump is 3 times more efficient than a gas boiler.
And these crazy numbers, I mean, we started out, people maybe using immersion heater to heat the water. That was expensive. And then, of course, gas being a more efficient fuel has helped so many people. The combi boiler has been a godsend to so many. But actually, when you look at what you're doing with an air source heat pump, it's actually, you do need to have a hot water tank for this. But
you do.
It is actually easy to do. It is as instant as a combi boiler, because it's sitting there waiting for you, and it hasn't cost you any more than a sort of reverse refrigerator to actually warm the water up.
So, Jason, you're doing my job. You're just doing it for me, basically. But it's, when you think about the transition that we're in, we burned coal. I remember when I was younger, I used to go out to the coal shed in my nana and granddad's house, fill up the bucket of coal and come in, because we had coal fires. That's where they didn't even have a central heating system.
I thought the story was going to be all you got for Christmas was a lump of coal then.
And an orange as well. Yeah, terrible times. And we burned coal to heat my nana and granddad's house, and then central heating came in, and they had a central heating system and a gas boiler. My granddad was petrified about that. He was worried about that change, because all of his life he'd burned coal. So for him to make the step to all of a sudden have this gas boiler in his house with a gas pipe coming in and a naked flame to ignite that gas to light his boiler, he was really worried about it. So I can understand when we've got this new generation of home heating that's come in, that people are slightly nervous about it, and that's fine, completely understandable. But my job really today is to basically just look at it, look at the technology, do some research on it. Yes, there's going to be a bit of negativity around on social media and people saying, oh, it doesn't work, and I've heard this doesn't work, and it's not efficient. Genuinely, the reason why I'm telling this story is because I've done it in my house. I've got a period home. I've upgraded the insulation a bit. I changed my windows anyway because the windows were like 60, 70 years old and they were a bit knackered. Changed the windows, and then I knew the boiler needed changing, so I just looked at SOC pumps, and I was the same as any other homeowner. I didn't really know enough about it. Did some research, got an installer to come out, approached the manufacturer. We got a design done to make sure it was going to work and it was going to be efficient. Didn't have to change my radiators, didn't have to do any of that. The installation happened in a couple of days, and the peace of mind for me is that I don't even have to think about it. It just works really, really well. Very efficient. I get it serviced every year, which I think most people don't even do that with their gas boiler now. You don't get it serviced. No one, you only worry about it when it breaks. And mine's just worked fantastically. And so I'm just like, this is the simplest technology. It's using clean and green energy to power my air source heat pump. The air source heat pump itself is 3 times more efficient than a gas boiler. And now because the government are pushing air source heat pumps and they want people to make that transition, you've got the boiler upgrade scheme. 7,500 quid, up to 7,500 grand you can get off the government to change your gas boiler for an air source heat pump. Now, if it's right and it's well designed and it's a good system and you've got a decent house that you can put it in, that cost can be like tiny to you to make that transition. There's a couple in Essex, we've just finished their house, and they put in an air source heat pump. They applied for the boiler upgrade scheme. The cost to them to make the change was just over 800 quid. You can't put in a new gas boiler for 800 quid.
No, you
just can't do it. But it's also future-proofed their house against rising gas prices and the turbulence of us having to buy gas from overseas territories. At the minute, we can produce a lot of green electricity for the UK. We can produce it ourselves. You know, on our coastline, we can produce a huge amount of green energy. And that's just going to become cheaper and cheaper over the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah, I think somebody with an older house actually will be more suited because they will already have the hot water tank that you're going to store your hot water in. It's the ones that are going to hit you are probably 90s homes where they're actually going to find a space for the hot water tank. But that's what your loft's for, isn't it?
Yeah, there's that as well. But with a good designer and a good installer, they'll come up with the best solution and the best option for your house. I don't think you should rule it out just because you're thinking, well, I might have to have a hot water tank. My hot water tank's outside on my house. Right, so my air source heat pump has to be outside because it's going to harness all the heat from the outside air. And I didn't have enough storage in the townhouse that I've got to put a 250 litre tank, which is what I wanted for my showers and my bath. So mine's outside in an insulated shed. And we've got some pipe work running from that little shed to the house. Now, that's quite an unusual installation. You wouldn't normally do that. But that's someone who's creatively looked at my place and gone, well, hang on a minute, we can make this work. So just all I'm saying is consider it. If you're thinking about changing your boiler, please just look at air source heat pumps because it could be a really good option for you.
Yeah, plus the fact the contractor's seen some of the stuff you've done on telly and thought he'll accept it. Whatever it is it takes to do the job, isn't he?
Most people are probably scared to do my house, to be honest with you, because I'm all over them. But I'm passionate about good quality housing in Britain. I'm passionate about us making more sustainable homes in Britain, whether they're new build or whether it's upgrading existing housing stock. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, I think there's nothing better than having a comfortable home to live in. It's about comfort more than anything. Mm-hmm. And hopefully, fingers crossed, reducing your energy prices over the next 10, 15, 20 years on your house.
Absolutely. And people may have been put off in the past talking about ground sourced heat pumps and the amount of disruption that would cause. The air sourced heat pump is so much simpler. It basically just fits on the outside of your building.
Literally, it is a unit that sits outside. It's drawing heat from the outside air. It can do that even if it's minus 10, minus 12 outside, which is amazing. I mean, it's kind of mad technology, to be honest. It harnesses tiny amount of heat, and then you're basically using that heating element to heat your hot water for your house. And to Google air source heat pumps, they might see some press from years ago saying, oh, you know what, it wasn't performing at the level that my gas boiler was. But now there's a whole generation of new high temperature heat pumps, which basically means it's creating as much, if not more, heat energy than what your gas boiler would have done. So you can actually use them on older properties that might not have high insulation standards and might not have the best glazing in the world. So that's like a like-for-like change. Just go and get rid of the gas boiler, put in a high temperature heat pump, and the system will work really well.
Well, yeah, there's Opinion had done this on behalf of Mitsubishi Electric, the research here, and found that people are having these concerns. But as I say, you can align most of those fears. So where do we go to find out more about how we can get one of these amazing systems in our homes?
Literally, just Google Mitsubishi Electric Ecodan, ECODAN. And that's got all the information you need on there about air source heat pumps. Even Google my name with air source heat pumps, and you'll see all the columns and articles I've written 7 or 8 years about the technology, and that's where they can go to find out more.
And what else have you got coming up at the moment? Have you got any series about to air?
I've actually got a series out now. If anyone's bored on a Thursday night at 8 o'clock, there's George Clarke's Homes in the Wilds, which is an amazing series where I've seen some beautiful housing across New Zealand and Australia. I'm currently making, in January, there's a new series of George Clarke's Building Home coming out as well. So I think we've got 6 episodes of that. So yeah, you'll be sick of me by March, April.
That no one could ever get bored of you. Even if you talk about heat pumps all the time, we still want to listen because we know it's sensible stuff. George, always good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us. I'll let you go and turn the heating up and down at your will because you know it's not going to cost you anymore. Have a good one and I'll see you soon.
I will. I swear, I will tell you the gospel honest truth, mate. I haven't even put my heating on yet. That's how efficient and that is the genuine, honest truth. My heating has not been turned. It's still my hot water, obviously, but I have not put my heating on at all.
You're so well insulated.
Thanks a lot, mate.
And he sat there in a t-shirt. I'll tell you that
Exactly.
now. He sat there in a t-shirt. He hasn't got a jumper or anything like that. Yeah, just t-shirt. That's the one. Thanks again, mate.
Cheers. Take care. Nice to speak to you. Appreciate it.
That's your lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me back with episode 855 next week. Hope to have you along then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.